Good morning, good morning. How are you doing this morning? We're getting close to Turkey Day. It's a big Turkey Day is tomorrow. Very glad that you're here with me this morning. And the project we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be doing a scratch. Let's make a turkey feather catch game. It's a fun little project, getting used to doing scratch a little bit, and also we're gonna be doing some extra stuff we haven't done before, like making a clone and a few other parts in there. We'll talk about that. So welcome, welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alex Cooper. I teach the computer classes for the Columbia County Library in Evans, Georgia, Harlan Library, and also the Grovetown Library too, with our new building and everything. So very glad that you're here with me today. As you come into the classroom and stuff, feel free to post a hello message in our chat. This is a pretty fun class that we're going to be having today. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about some of the other classes we have coming up. Now, let's go. Oh, sorry. Blech. Let's go ahead and go back here. Let's start talking about what I always want to ask is how can I help? Do you have any questions? Have you tried to work on a project? You needed help with it too. One of the big ones is coming to one of our live classes, of course, is you can ask questions and I can answer them in the chat or anything. And feel free to post questions throughout the project that we're going to be working on if you do have any questions, okay? So that I can help in any way. A big thing is also I'm going to be posting our handout so that you can actually take that with you and you can save it as well. So if you want to show it to somebody else or do this project with a different family member or anything. One thing that I do recommend is basically if you're going to follow along is you have your computer in front of you and you basically have my video maybe on a separate little device, and then it's easier to flip back and forth through our handout and of course your project. So let's kind of cover some of the projects we've done this month. This afternoon we'll actually have our new schedule coming out. So basically let's talk about what we did. So this month we have covered a lot, haven't we, in our gobble 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 month. Let's talk about Libby, internet shopping, digital couponing, getting everybody ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday that of course is going to be on Friday. We did a gadget help, and then of course our two big theme things, and of course we're going to do them both today. Of course this morning we're doing the Let's Create a Feather Catch game. And then this afternoon we're going to be doing Let's Draw and Animate a Turkey. And we'll all be off tomorrow because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We also did classes like Raspberry Pi projects with Alex, photography, printing, and video virtual scrapbooking, maybe some Christmas or holiday gift ideas, also internet safety and security. And we also did internet shopping, digital couponing, holiday gadget gift ideas, eBay and Facebook Marketplace, internet buying and selling. So a whole bunch of different topics we did this month. Just a little side note, we've switched over from RB Digital to Libby. So if you are looking for free audiobooks and ebooks, all you need to do is download the Libby app, have your library card. When it says what's your library, don't search for Columbia County, Grovetown, or Harlem. What you need to do is search for Greater Clarksville Regional Library System, choose Georgia download destination, and then enter your library card number, and then you should be good to go. On a side note, our libraries are open with limited services and hours. Curbside holds pickup is available. It's a wonderful service. Make sure to thank the librarians for doing that. You can go to gchrl.org for details or call in the library with questions Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. of course, except for days that the library is closed, like tomorrow. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates. Right now we're having a subscribe drive. If we can get 100 subscribers to our YouTube channel, we'll get our own customized YouTube address. Okay, so search YouTube for GCHRL videos and our channel will pop right up. All right, so let's go back here and I'll come back for a minute. All right, so welcome, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and post, let me make sure. I'm going to go ahead and post our handout into the chat. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let me post that in the chat, and then when that gets uploaded and everything, I'll actually post that into our, let's see. All right, so it's uploading now. And I will go ahead and open it up for us. Okay, here we go. So here's our handouts in the chat now. You can view it there. Okay, so now let's get started here. So one of the things we're going to be covering today is we're talking about Scratch a little bit. And let me see if I can move that out of the way because it's kind of in the way right this second. All right, there we go. Okay, so zoom in here. So this will actually be the third time teaching this, and I've actually simplified it a little bit. So we'll start off simple, and then we'll get a little bit more advanced, and then we'll add something that's kind of like an intro screen and a game outro screen, and I'll have a challenge for you to work on as well. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to cover this morning. We're going to cover what is Scratch. Okay. We'll talk about signing up and logging into Scratch. We'll talk about starting Scratch. And we'll talk about saving our project, program overview, basic tutorial, just basically getting around our section and everything. And don't forget this afternoon we'll be doing a draw a turkey game and animate him and stuff. So it's a little bit different than our usual Scratch projects because we'll actually be drawing with vectors and everything. We'll be talking about that a lot. So turkey feather catch game. We'll talk about resources. And then we'll have any questions, see if anybody has any questions. Okay. There's our Scratch the cat. And I'm going to disappear so I'm not in the way. All right, so what is Scratch and what can I do with it? Scratch is a programming language, an online community where you can create your own interactive stories, games, and animations and share your creations with others around the world. In the process of designing and programming Scratch projects, you learn to think creatively, reason systematically, and work collaboratively. How much does Scratch cost? It doesn't cost anything. Do I need a license? No, you do not. Scratch is and always will be free. It's an open source language. So actually, if you did do a project and wanted to sell it, you can actually, because it is an open source language. To learn more about Scratch, you can check out their website, but I have a quick little kind of overview video to give you some ideas of some of the things that you can do with Scratch. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Okay. All right, so that gives you a little bit of an overview of our project, of course. Now let's go ahead and let's go to our next part. Let's start talking about getting started with Scratch. Sign up, log in. So basically we need to go to scratch.mit.edu. So if we go to scratch.mit.edu, this will actually pop up like this. Okay. Now later on we'll talk about viewing some of the other projects that you may see. And one cool thing is any of these projects you can actually see the code in there. So if you want to build your own code with something. Okay. So let's go up here. I've already logged in, so I'm going to hit create. Now, one big thing is you do not have to have set up an account if you don't want to. It's completely free. Anything we do today, you do not have to have an account. You can create anything. The big thing about having an account is not only do you get your own username, but you can also have it so that you can save to the cloud your projects. You can work on something, any computer, save it, and then come back and work on it later, okay? So this is how, if you do want to sign up for a free account, of course you do need an email address to do that, and then you'll be able to save your projects, give them a name, hit file, and hit save now, and you can save your projects, okay? Now what we're going to do today is I'm actually going to do an overview of our interface here with Scratch, and then we'll actually go in and we have a specific file we're going to open up, project that's already made with the graphics, so we don't have to draw a turkey or anything because the turkey's already there, okay? All right, let's talk about a quick program overview here. So with our program overview, here's number one. This is our stage area, okay? This is where we see our graphics. This is where we move our characters around. This is basically where your game happens, okay? So the stage shows a quick summary of your game, okay? What's number two? Number two is our backdrop. You might hear me say background, backdrop. They're very similar, okay? Number two, here you can select a background for your game, choose from Scratch library, paint your own, okay? In our class this afternoon, we will be painting our own turkey and then make him dance and stuff. It's what we're going to be doing. Yes, these are fun classes. I love the idea that it's a turkey and we can kind of stay themed and everything, okay, with our Thanksgiving stuff, okay? All right, so let's go ahead here. Let's talk about our sprites. Our sprites are our characters, like Mr. Scratch is our character. So if we bring him there, we'll deal with our turkey in a little bit. We also have our work area. Our big one is this is where our scripts go. Our code goes right here. Interactivity happens here. So that's how we actually program our games and animations to happen, okay? On our left side over here is actually where we get our code. We actually use coding blocks with this program. Instead of having to type out long drawn out code, we just drag and drop the blocks. One good thing that's really good is that it is broken up into different categories, and if you are looking for something, you can just keep scrolling up and down and you'll eventually find it, okay? I've used a few others that are for Python blocks, and then you have to keep going back and forth, but this is great because you just scroll right down, up or down, and you'll eventually see everything, okay? All right, so let's keep going. So we have our blocks. The really cool thing about using our blocks is they're actually similar to Legos, okay? They snap together, making it easy. Another thing that'll happen too is if the code doesn't work together, then the blocks don't fit together. And it kind of gives your brain a little bit of an idea of, well, these things go together because it looks like their blocks will fit together. Exactly right. So that's kind of the goal with Scratch in general. Okay. We have our different categories, like I said. And let's go ahead and let's get our cat to say something, and then we'll go into our new project. Okay. So we're just going to do the classic thing right here. We have our green flag and our stop flag, excuse me, our stop sign. So let's say we want Mr. Scratch, which comes automatically, to say hello everyone. So if we go up here, we need to add an event. So when the green flag is clicked, and all I can do is I drag it over here. Okay. So we click the green flag, that's when the code or script below that starts. We're going to do looks. And I'm going to drag hello over here. Okay. So if I go up here and I click the green flag, boom, he says hello. And there you go. You've done your first script. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a few other things here. And just kind of, we're going to cover these, but we're going to go more in detail into these, of course, as we're working on our turkey feather catch game. Okay. Things that we need to know. What a variable is. Value that holds a string that can be changed. That's going to be our score. Okay. Broadcast, we'll get into more about our little bit of, we're trying to make a intro screen and a game over screen. Cloning is a big one we're going to be dealing with. Cloning is a feature that allows the sprite to create a copy of itself. So therefore, we'll have a whole bunch of feathers fall down from the sky. We're going to have the one feather keep cloning itself and copying itself. Okay. Another thing to know is on our screen, when we're dealing with what the coordinates on there, where our sprites are on the screen, where our our feather will fall. Where our feather will fall, we actually have coordinates on the screen, so do realize that. So we can't really see it, but our coordinates are on the screen. Okay. So basically the Y position is left and right, the X position is left and right. Okay. So positive numbers are just normal numbers, go to the right, and a negative number makes it move to the left. Okay. So if I wanted my arrow to move up and down, then in the Y position, I would give it positive numbers, it goes up, positive. Okay. And if I do negative numbers, it means the mouse will move down. Okay. So that's what it is. So how do we know exactly where to put a character? That's because of the coordinates. Okay. The Y and X and Y axes. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's get started with our project here. Turkey feather catch game. So that's kind of our goal. We're going to be able to control our turkey moving left and right with our keyboard arrows. So let's go ahead and let's do a starter project. And I'm actually going to copy and paste that into the chat. So all you have to do is click it. Okay. All right, let's go there. Now, these are only the sprites, okay? So it's got our graphic, our turkey on it, and it also has our feathers, so we don't have to do that, okay? Now, if you do see a project, like I looked at the project earlier, if I do see a project, if I hit the green flag, nothing's going to happen, okay? All this is just supposed to be hiding our graphics. So if I click where it says see inside, then it's just like I loaded this myself. It has the turkey graphic and it also has the feathers as well, okay, which are hidden right now. Okay. So go here and you'll be good to go, get started. Their full project is here. That includes the intro screen and the game over screen as well. And just to give credit, this project was actually designed by this YouTuber on and this is the address of their YouTube channel. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. We have our turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Okay. And let's start with our first code. Well, our first code, what we want to do is we want to be able to move our turkey around left and right with our arrows. Okay. So that's kind of our goal, is to move our turkey around, and then we're going to have our feathers fall. Have our feathers fall from the ceiling. Okay. So let's talk about our code a little bit. First, we need to add our start flag. Okay, so let's do that. Now make sure you're on the turkey, because that's where we're going to do our code for our turkey. And then let's go to events and drag when the green flag starts. Okay. Another thing is that it will show you up here your character to help you know which script you're working on. Okay. All right. We want our turkey to start in a certain position. Okay. And that is going to be in the middle here, is actually what we want. Now here's one good, I'm going to go to motion. There's one good big hint. So if you're you want a character to start somewhere, you want it to control, with coordinates in general, I say that. So if I grab my turkey, I can move him anywhere here on the screen. And you'll see while I'm moving him, the coordinates, the x axes and the y axes, remember we talked about that a minute ago, will actually change. See the numbers change? Okay. This is just so they know where, just so the Scratch knows where we want to put the turkey. Now the other thing that happens is, and I'm under motion, it'll say go to, and it's showing the X and the Y. Now I'm going to go ahead and move my turkey so he's always right here in the middle. Okay. Now this number may not be exactly like my code I have on the sheet, but that's okay. We can do it in by hand. But a big one here is that if you move your sprite where you want your coordinates to be, then the cool part about it is before you drag your code over, it'll automatically, do you see that? I'll automatically figure out what the coordinates is and then set it to that. Okay. So I think right about there is plenty. It's not going to be exact what we have on the sheet, but that's okay. So 30 by minus 39. Okay, we could change it to 1 just so it matches if we want to. We can just click there and just say 1. Yeah, you won't really notice. Okay, so that means that anytime I hit the green flag, my turkey will start right there. So if I move my turkey over here, when I hit the green flag, boom, it always starts the game with him being right there in the middle. Okay, makes sense? All right, so what we need to do is to add now a forever loop. What does a forever loop do? Well, a forever loop basically sits here, and it just means that if you had just added the if by itself, that means it looks for it once, and then that's it. What the forever loop does is to make sure that the computer is looking or listening for your keyboard input all the time. Okay, not just once, not just with a limited time frame, but forever. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our forever loop. So let's go to control, and we see there's one that says forever, and it looks kind of like a big Pac-Man. Okay, so if we drag him over, it'll snap, and that means that anything I want to be in this loop, okay, going around and around and around, doing it forever, needs to go inside the Pac-Man mouth. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to set it up so that if the key right arrow is pressed, then change by x axes by 10, meaning that since it's a plus number, it'll actually move our turkey to the right by 10 steps. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So let's add a if then. Okay, if then, this is the one that's empty. You'll see there's a bunch here. There's a repeat. There's if then, I'm still under control. if then or else, wait until, or repeat until. Here's also a stop all. So if then, okay. Now we want to add an operator here, and it looks kind of like a long hexagon, kind of like a stop sign, okay, stretched out. So we need to go to where it says operators, and you'll see one that says, where is it? Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. I need to go to the hang on, where is it on here? Yeah, sorry, that's not an operator, that's a sensing. The colors are similar, okay? So we're looking for the one that says key. Right now it says space bar. If I click the little drop down, then I can see that there's a whole bunch of keys I can make a game into, okay? Right now we want to change it to the right. You can change that at any time, by the way. And all we're going to do is we're going to drag it out here. And you don't really want to hover here because that really won't do anything. You want to do it on the left side hover. So you kind of hover right about here and kind of have it pointed at it. And then it'll glow and you let go and then boom, you know, it adds it, okay? So if the right arrow is pressed, then change x-axis by +10. Let's go to motion. And drag it right there. Okay, now, how can we see if our code is working? Okay. Well, if I go here and I click, that'll actually run our code. I could, because we actually have the click green flag when it's when green flag is clicked, okay, activate the code. So if I hit green flag and I go to the right, tap the right key, it actually will go to the right. Yay, we did it. Oh no, but the left one's not working yet. Okay, we got to program that one. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we need to drag our if then. So let's go to control. We're going to do our if then and drag it right here, and you'll see that the forever loop will open. Okay. Forever loop will open, and then we want to add our key. Let's change that to left arrow. Okay. Then, and what we want to do, we actually want to go in, and because the x-axis is the left and right, okay, a positive number moves it to the right, a negative number moves it to the left. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to say change x by -10. Oh, motion. All right, so let's see. Where is it on here? There it is. Change x by -10. Okay. So now let's hit the green flag. And now when we do our left key, it should move the turkey to the left. Okay. And then right key should move the turkey to the right. Is it a game yet? Not really. But we're going to get there. We're going to catch those feathers, aren't we? Okay. All right. I'm going to hit the green flag so it moves you back in the middle. All right, and hit stop. Okay, now, So we created left and right movement with our keyboard. Okay. Let's go on and let's add our backdrop. Okay. So let's add a background. Let's click choose a backdrop and then choose the one that says Hayfield. Hayfield, what's up? All right, so let's go down here and let's click right here where it shows the choose a backdrop. Click that. It'll show all the previously made stuff. One of the great things about Scratch is it already has a whole bunch of really great graphics, especially the backgrounds. You know, you might want to make your own, you know, for some of the other stuff, but the backgrounds you can do a lot with. Okay, so it's this one here. It says Hayfield. Okay. Boom, it looks great. There's the hay bales all rolled up. Okay. Seems a place where turkey would be hanging out. Okay. Turkey lurkey loo. Alright, so we added our backdrop. So let's go to our next one. Now let's talk about adding our variables. Okay. Remember, the variables are our score. It can also be our timer. And with this game, we also want to calculate our missed feathers. Okay. You don't have to do the missed feathers thing, but I think it's it kind of adds to our game. Okay. So these things will be at the top. One big thing is it'll stack them here, and you can just drag them around where you want them to really be. Okay. I usually put the timer on the right side. Okay. So how do we make a variable? Well, first, let's go ahead, and all we're going to do is go to click variables, and then let's click where it says make a variable. Let's go to variables. Okay. And let's click right here where it says make a variable. It'll pop up and say, what variable do you want to make? So let's go back to our handout. First we want to make is called feathers missed. Now whatever you name this is what the title it'll have on the screen. Okay. Boom. Feathers missed. Alright, what's our next one? We're going to do score next. Okay. Let's click make a variable. Score. Alright. And now let's make a last one, time left. Okay. Make variable, time left. Now here they are. I'm actually going to move the timer one over here, drag and drop, and I think I'm going to put my score on top actually, and then do the feather miss. Now you can just make it a number. If you do a double click, it'll just go to a number. It also has a slide method, but we don't need that. Double click again, and it'll go back to the way it was to begin with. So if there any time project you're working on and you don't want the variable to show up on the screen, but you still want the variable to exist, what you do is you uncheck it and it won't show it. Okay, even though it still will exist in the back you now have a variable to deal with. So let's say you want to do a game that only shows the score at the end and not on the screen. You could do that. Okay, so now that we've made our variables now have these sections here, and it'll say set to whatever. And if we do our drop down now, because we created score, time left, and also feathers missed, since those exist, all these new blocks here will actually be usable. Okay, so let's minimize this. All right, so let's first create our timer. Now I actually have this kind of broken up into smaller pieces, so we're going to make something and then we'll actually add more code to it to kind of make it functional. Okay, so first let's do a timer. Now you would think you just go, oh, okay, well I'm sure a lot of games in Scratch use a timer. So I'm sure it's just a button I press that says, you know, create timer or something like that. Well, the timer is kind of an illusion, okay? It's an illusion. And what I mean by that is we actually just have a box that we can change we basically have a box that we have labeled as time left, and we can change the numbers to any way we want. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to, when we hit the green flag, which we'll do that at the end there, when we start our game, we want the timer to say 60. So let's start with that. Now we do need to be on the backdrop, okay? So let's click the backdrop, and then we'll have our own coding area. And how do I know that I'm on the backdrop? Well, if I look up here, I'll actually see that on the backdrop. That's to show me that I'm in the coding or script area of the backdrop. So I'm going to grab the one that says set feathers right now, and I'm going to change it to time left. Okay. Right now it says 0. I'm going to set it to 60. Okay. All right. Now, set timer left to 60 when game starts. Okay. Countdown will stop at 0. Okay. So it's going to repeat counting down. Okay. Every second subtract. Do you see this? Every second subtract 1 from 60. Okay. And when it reaches 0, which will be, it's going to repeat this 60 times. Okay. Then stop all scripts when reaches 0. Okay. So this being 60 is important, because if it keeps going, it actually will get into the negative numbers. So we don't want that. We just want it to reach 0 and then stop the game completely. Stop all makes all the scripts on all the characters stop at the same time. So we want to make this repeat 60 times because we have 60 minutes on the clock. So if you do want to change the time, the seconds or whatever, you have to change the time here as well. All right, so let's add our repeat. So let's go to events, control. Let's go to repeat, and let's type in 60. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. A little better. So let's do 60. All right, and then let's say wait 1 second. So we're going to have this repeat. This is actually going to create our illusion that it's a timer, because we're going to make it run this code 60 times, but we're going to make it wait a second before it subtracts 1 from the code, and that's going to make it look like it's counting down. Okay. All right, so let's do our wait 1 second. Okay. And then let's go to variables, and we're going to say change, but we need to change this to score, time left, and we're going to put a -5. -5. Put a -1 on there. Okay. All right, once you have that, one of the things that we can do, and I don't know if I said it already, if you just want to run a specific code, all you got to do is left click it, and it'll actually run. Now, if I do that, then my clock should look like it's counting down. Okay. And that's how you create a timer. Okay. I won't sit here for 60 seconds to do that. But that's how you create a timer. Okay, you set your time to 60. You made it repeat 60 times. You make it wait a second here. Okay, and then you make it change your score. Your time left by -1. Okay, so there's your countdown, and it should count down all the way to 0. And then right now it's going to look like nothing happened. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and then nothing happened. Okay, It ran that script and that was it. All right, so let's go back to our code here. Big thing now is we're going to add a stop all scripts. Okay, so let's add that. Let's see, our control, and you should see it near the bottom. It says stop all. Okay, so this is for the scripts. So this means that all scripts, so when we program the feathers, when we program the turkey moving around, we program anything else, that means when the timer runs out, the game will be officially over. Okay, all right, so let's go down to our next part. We're actually going to add some other key features here. So what we want to do is when we click the green flag, we want the feather miss counter to be set to 0, meaning it restarts the game. Our goal is anytime we hit the green flag, it completely restarts the game. Okay. Also, we want to add set score to 0. Okay, so we hit the green flag, it'll reset the score into nothing. And then we have our countdown timer. Okay, so let's go ahead and add these two, the third one on top. So when we hit the green flag, all that stuff will be set back to 0. So if we catch a bunch of feathers, we miss a bunch of feathers, when we hit the green flag, it's all going to reset back to 0. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our variables, and I'm going to say set feathers missed. Well, we can do it this way too. And our first, what is our? I want to match the handout. Yeah, feathers and then score. So if I do my drop down here, it'll say score, and then add the event when the green flag is clicked. Okay. So no matter what, when I click the green flag, the feathers missed counter will go back to 0, and our score will go back to 0, and our timer will start, and all scripts will end when the timer runs out. Okay. All right, now let's go to our next page. Let's talk about create a clone and catch feathers. Now our first code we're going to do is, it's not going to be very exciting. Okay, so I've tried to make this pretty simple, and then we'll get it more complex by adding some randomness to it. Okay, so basically I have our code here. We're going to play around with our code, get to look at our feathers miss score, and then we'll add a sound to it. We'll get it to make a score when a turkey touches a feather. And then we'll also finish up by adding some randomness to our code. Okay, so let's start off simple and we'll get more complex. All right, now let's go ahead and go to our turkey. No, excuse me. We need to go to our feather. Duh. All right, so let's click our feather. And our first code is we need to add when the green flag is clicked. So when the green flag is clicked, it's kind of small. Let's add a forever loop. Okay. Now, what this means is this will actually control, makes a feather fall every second. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, when we create this, we're not really going to see anything happen. Right now, our feather is actually hidden. Okay, because we only have one. We have multiple costumes to our feather, but right now we're only going to be dealing with one feather, and then we'll talk about our multiple costumes. Okay, so we have our forever loop. And this means that our feather will fall about one every second, not about. And it also will create, well, excuse me, let me say it this way. This is making a basically timer, talking about how many every second we'll see a new clone of the feather, okay, or myself. I think hopefully I've explained that well. All right, so we need the green flag is clicked. We need a forever loop. We're going to add a weight. And this is one that says create clone of myself. Now that means that we don't have to create something new because it's all going to already be there. Okay. So let's go to, where is it on here? There it is. So it's under control. It's near the bottom. It says create clone of myself. And there, if we had more than one thing, like it even shows turkey on there. Let's drag that, making sure it's inside the forever loop. Okay. Now, right now, it won't look like it's doing anything, so do realize that. So we're not done with our code. Let's go on over to our next part. Let's talk about when I start a clone, what do we want to happen? Okay. So we're still on the feather. Okay. Let's drag over here when I start a clone. So basically, this will be one every second, and this will be programming the feather what to do. Okay. So we want it to go to a certain position, go to x-axis 10 and y-axis 180. Okay. Go to x10, y180. Now what that means is that it will actually be up here, okay? Right here where I'm holding the mouse, okay? So the y being positive goes up. So it's going all the way up it can, basically. And this just means that it's 10. It's not going to be in the exact center, okay, of the X and Y, okay, but right about there. All right, we want, now right now we actually have our feather is hidden because we don't want the feather to be shown on the screen all the time, okay, so you always want it to be hidden. So all you do is click there. If it is showing for some reason, it's just laying there. Then hide it. Okay. And so let's go ahead to programming it to show. So we want it to show. It's under looks, show. We want it to show the feather right before it starts dropping the clone. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's add a repeat until. So control, not a repeat 10, but a repeat until. There it is. Repeat until. Okay. Repeat until Y position is less than minus 180, meaning it was at the top, okay, and then we want it to move down. Now, how fast do we want to move it down? This is actually how we control that. So positive Y, or y-axis positive goes up, Y negative number Y goes down, okay. 180 is about as far as they can go, okay? So this means that every second, okay, a new clone will be started. This means repeat this section, okay? So what is this? It's going to change Y by -4, okay, meaning it's going to make the feather go down, okay? So we had the clone appear at the very top of the screen. It's going to keep repeating this by -4. Okay. And then until the feather gets to less than -180. Okay. Then jump out of that and quit, and then play the next one, which would change feathers missed by 1, and then delete the clone. Okay. So let's add change Y by 4. Motion. Change Y by -4. Okay. So if I actually, let me see if I can show this. So I have this on. There's my feather. So if I just do this code, it just moves the feather down, down, down. Okay. So I'm going to hide the feather once again. So if I go back up here, now let's add this less than. Okay. And if we go to operators, it'll be this one right here, less than. Now remember what I told you before, don't just hover it over there. Have it mostly touch the end here, and then that part will grow or will glow. Then drop it. Okay. Now because this is an oval, we can actually add other code to it. So Y position is what we're going to do. So let's find under operators. Isn't that under Y? Oh, it's blue, sorry. So that's under motion. So we go here and it'll just say Y position. Do you see that? Okay. So Y position. And we need it to be -180. Okay. So our feather keeps going down, 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 down. Once it reaches basically this area, it should disappear, is what we want it to do. So we're going to make it change, or we're going to make it add to the feather miss score, and then make it disappear. So change feather miss score by 1. Say change feather miss score by 1. It's already set for us. Okay. And then delete this clone. So we don't have a pile of feathers showing up at the bottom. Okay. So let me see. Is that under control? Yeah. So it's under control. Delete this clone. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to click here. Oh, I might have to make it. Oh, it does say show here. Okay. So I'm going to click here. And we should have a feather that will appear here and then start going all the way down. And then when it reaches the bottom, right now our turkey can't do anything to catch it. Okay. It'll say feather missed by 1. Here we go. There you go. And boom, feather missed by 1. So I can click this as many times as I want. So I'm still in the development stage. So we know that's working. Okay, now remember, if I want to reset that, all I have to do is hit the green flag and it'll reset it. Oh, so if I hit the green flag too, because we have everything else here, it should start shooting down some feathers. Okay, so hit the green flag and then we should get this. Okay. And then our feather mist is going way up, isn't it? And our clock going down. So let's see if our script, StopAll script, is working. So when our time left hits 0, it should stop all our scripts, including dropping the feathers. Okay. Now, in a minute, we're actually going to make it change the feathers, and we're also going to make it change and move the feather drop is going to be random, because this isn't a very interesting game so far, is it? All right. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything stop. Boom. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Wow. We told it to feather a second. I guess it didn't get the last few that were on the screen. That's why it's not 60. Okay. So let's go back to our handout here. So that was a success. Now, what we want to do is to be able to capture the feather, okay, and add it to our score. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now we're going to add a if then, okay, right below where it says change y by 4, okay. So let's get it if then, and we actually want to add it right here where it says repeat until the feather drops down to this section, okay, or repeat going down by 4 if the turkey touches the bird, turkey touches the feather, then we want the score to go up by 1, okay, and then we want the feather to disappear, okay. Or again, we just have a whole bunch of them. And we want it to play a sound too, don't we? Our turkey gobble, 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 gobble. Okay. All right, so let's add a touching turkey then. We have some tongue twisters going on today. Touching turkey. All right, so where it says touching, and if we do our drop down, it'll say turkey. Let's drag that on over there. So if touching turkey, then start sound, turkey gobble. Let's go to sound, start sound, turkey gobble. Make sure you don't do the until done, because that could mess up our timing. So start sound, turkey gobble. We want to change the score by 1. Let's go to variables, change, and we can change it to change score by 1. Whoop. I mean, you could even make it more advanced once you play around with this. I encourage you, once you learn this, I encourage you to do stuff like that. You could even make, you could add another sprite, have a special feather that only fell down every, 15 seconds or something like that, and then it gave them 5 points instead of just 1. You could spruce the game up a little bit here. Spruce it up. Okay, so we have that. We want to delete the clone, because again, we want there to be no turkey feathers hanging around once it's been touched there. So let's go. I think it's under control. And it's near the end that says delete this clone, okay? And it needs to be, delete this clone is right under the change, delete this clone right under the change, okay? So what we're going to do is have the clone be created. It's going to be up here. It's going to show the feather, and it's going to keep moving down by -4. 4 steps down, 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 down. If it reaches here, then it's going to actually jump to the next part, then add, you missed the feather, a 1 to here, okay, and then delete the clone. But if it's falling, 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 and then touches the turkey, it's going to start a sound, change score by 1, and then delete the clone, so that feather won't be in the way. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's do it full screen here. Hit our green flag. And we actually have a little bit of a game here. Not a very fun game, is it? Not a very fun game, is it? Because our turkey's not doing anything. I mean, our feathers only fall in one place. Okay. So not much of a game, and you can clearly know where the turkey's gonna, the feather's gonna be too as well. Let me turn the turkey. There you go. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to add a little bit of randomness to this. Okay. So how do we do randomness? Well, let's go down here and let's add randomness and make our costume change. Now, any of these where they have like seconds or scores or anything like that, you can actually add randomness, which is pick random. Okay, so let's start off simple here. We want to control not every second. We want to control randomly the feathers appearing. So we're actually going to drag a pick random over, make it 0.5 to 3 seconds. Okay. And just give us a little bit of randomness here. Now, how do I do that? If we go to operator, we'll see one that says pick random 1 through 10, which we're going to change that in a minute. See how it's like an oval? And where it says number 1 is, it's an oval as well. That's perfectly right. So let's drag that over there, hover it over the number 1, and then boom, it'll actually, and I gotta move this over here so it's not blocking it. And we want it to be not 1 to every 10 seconds. How about half a second, which is 0.5, okay? To, what did we do on the other one? We did 3 seconds, okay? So let's change that to a 3. Now that means that it's going to create a clone, and all this stuff over here is going to work with it. Not every second, but it's going to randomly choose between half a second and 3 seconds. Okay, so let's try that. So now it should send a feather down, and we should see that there's like a pattern. Half a second to 3 seconds now. And there you go. Now, we want our feather to move around, don't we? We don't want to know when our feather is going to come from the sky. So let's add some randomness to that. So let's scroll down here. Now, before we have our feather falling from the sky in one location, and that's right here. Okay, so how do we make that random? Well, we need to make our x-axis random. Okay, but anytime you even give like a computer randomness, you still want to give it I'm trying to remember what the exact term is. A range. Thank you. What you want to do is actually give it a range of answers it can give. It'll pick those randomly, as much as it can pick something random. It'll pick it randomly, and then, but you always want to give it a range. So we're going to say minus 240 to 240. So the whole spectrum at the top here, left and right, as far left as we can go, and also as far right as we can go. Okay, so 240 is our number, and we're going to put it in this where it says x axes. So let's go ahead and say pick random and drag it and put it right there, x axes, and let's do minus 240, and I'm going to drag it a little bit over here so y'all can see, and then 240 here as well. Okay, now let's try our game again. Ah, look. How about that? Now it feels kind of like we have a game going. Let's see. Oh, oh. Let's see if I miss a feather. Oh, there's a feather missed. Well, missed a few right there, didn't I? Right. Let's go back. Now, we have a lot of randomness now, don't we? Okay. Let's go back and look and see if we can actually choose a little bit of different randomness. So, what about the speed of the feathers coming down? Okay. What about the speed? Right now, it says, oh, well, hang on. I want to choose different feathers. Let's talk about our different feathers. Okay. So, if I click our feather and I say costumes, oh, we can actually see there's a whole bunch of different feathers here, isn't there? There's 5 different kinds, okay, that have been pre-made for us. Now, this afternoon's class will get into drawing our own little vectors and stuff when we draw our own turkey, okay? And then we'll animate him, make him dance and stuff. But there's our feathers. Now, we could tell it to just switch to the next one, switch to the next one. But still, that feels really, oh, here, okay, here comes the bluish one, aqua or whatever. Here comes the red one. Oh, here comes the brown one, and I don't know what color that is. And then, oh, here comes the pink one. So it would look kind of like this, still very stagnant, okay? But if we make it random, which costume it chooses, okay? So let's get it to choose a different costume. So switch costume. So let's see. Oh, so let's do the switch costume first. So we want it to, where is it? It needs to be, yeah, after the go to. All right, so let's get a looks. Let's go where it says switch costume. There's actually 2 settings here. The easiest one to do would be to do the one that says next costume. So let's drag the next costume. Okay. So it'll actually look more colorful, but it will be very stagnant still. But here we go. Here they come. But we should, after a while. Well, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? What did I do wrong? Okay, so I've got my next costume on there. Oh, okay. It starts with that costume, and because this is not a loop, it's actually creating, in its mind, it's creating this every time. So sorry about that. Okay, so we do need to have it kind of random. Not random, but we're going to have it. So this is our set ones. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but I want it to be random. So let's go back to operator, and let's choose pick our random. Remember, this is oval, and our numbers, our costumes are 1 through 5 here. Okay, so don't let that throw you off. So if we drag pick random right on top of the thing that's there. Now if we say 1 through 10, that doesn't make any sense because there's only 5. So let's change that to a 5. Now when we click our green flag, we should get random feathers. Oh no, there's too many of them. Perfect. We won't do it now, but I can see where you can make the sounds, him catching the feathers. Maybe if you got like 5 different sounds or 3 or something, it can make it more interesting. And randomly choose which one which noise he made. When, yeah, you could do that. You could drag the random thing here, and then he'll make different noises every time. Okay, so let's go back to our randomness. So now we've made it change the costumes. Now let's make it change the speed that the turkeys, the feathers are going to come down, okay? So our Y axes change by 4 is what it says right now. Let's drag that there, and I think we have it saying -4 to -6. Okay, now when we do our game, some of the feathers should look faster than the other ones. Okay. So right now we're kind of in a normal mode. Remember, we still have randomness going on. So there's things you could do to make this quicker, excuse me, harder or easier. Make sure it works. Yep, feather count works. Alright, we got 3 seconds, and everything should stop when that hits 0. Good, and I can't control the turkey anymore, see? And then I know what my score is, right there. I know how many feathers I missed, and the game is over. Okay, so let's go to our next section. So we basically have a game now, don't we? Let's talk about our final code here. All right, so we could make the game more challenging. We could change the speed of the feathers coming down. Oh, we can do that. I think that would be kind of neat to see real quick. So let's say we have our change. So let's make it, ooh, this will be interesting. Let's make it 10, okay? 4 to 10, here we go. So this is our, I will say this might be the hard mode. We'll see how fast these feathers come down. Slow down. Oh no! I could not get that one. That's it. Going slow now. Going slow. Anyway, so you could actually vary what I'm about to talk about in just a little bit. We're going to do an intro screen, and you could actually make it so that you would have to do the code completely, separate here and all that. It's like if you click something, it would go to the certain sections, but you could make it like some ultimate, extreme speed or something as well. So this should be way faster. Oh no, I can't get anything out. Oh. So yeah, so we're about to talk about, you could actually you'd have to redo the code for each thing though. Oh no, God, I'm terrible now. But now I'm like in hard mode. It's funny because some games in general, people are like, oh, it's the hard mode. Sometimes all they really do is they just up the points for like a bad guy or something, make them have better health or make you have less health. And then everybody's like, oh, it's a really hard mode. Okay, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Okay, there you go. So 17 score on hard mode. Okay, so that was fine. Put it back to 6. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go to our next section. And here's the final code for that part of our project. And we're actually going to be, our next part we're actually going to be doing is adding an intro screen and a button, okay, a start button. One of the things is, like I said, you could actually have it to set up to have different modes if you wanted to. So you could have a easy mode button and then the other mode button. All you'd really need to do is just, I'll show you how you could set that up if you wanted to. Okay, but here's our final code. The feathers, moving the turkey around, turkey speed 4 to 6, random. Randomness is really important in the game so that they're not expecting it, what's going to happen at all. Okay, and it can cover up if you're not really sure what to do with something. Make it random, and then it actually makes it a little more fun too. So that's really our main turkey game. Okay, so let's make it a little bit more advanced now. Okay, big thing is we want to have a game over screen. So now let's start about, we're going to give it a start menu, and we're also going to give it a game over screen. Now, one of the things we need to learn about is broadcast. Okay, so actually we're going to go back to our section. We talked about that, and I know I'm scrolling through, just give me a second. So broadcast. So basically it means that we're basically going to have the hello, let's start this game. We're going to have a button, and then I'm going to have it so when I press a button, it's going to broadcast over more than one script to say basically start the game. Okay, we're going to use the term play, and then we're going to also use the term done. Okay, so broadcast is a message that is sent through the Scratch program, activating scripts with the matching hat blocks. Okay, so it's kind of like a green flag. It'll be like that. We're going to create a sprite, and when you click the sprite, it's going to broadcast to the rest of the game that they basically play or the game has started. Okay. Activating scripts with the matching hat. Broadcasts are sent with the blocks broadcast, wait, and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of ones that we'll actually choose from. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. So let's add a game of beginning and a game over screen. Okay, now, yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So you see where it says play instead of our green flag hat. That's exactly what's going to happen. So we're going to create a play and a done broadcast. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead down to where it says control. And where is it on here? No, it's events, excuse me. So let's go to events. And we're going to go to where it says broadcast. Do you see this? So these are really the 3 blocks. It doesn't have a separate section like a variable does. Mostly you click the little drop down and it'll say, you say new message, okay? And we're going to create one that says play and one that says done, okay? So one of the things we want to do is we want to go ahead and create our new backdrop. So let's click our stage, okay? And then let's click backdrop, and it actually gives us one that's empty, okay, already. If that doesn't work, then click here and do the draw paint button, and it'll give you a blank one, okay. So, and what we want to call it, I want to make sure I'm equaling what they say. Hold on there. All right, so we want to call one backdrop 1 and then backdrop 2. Backdrop 1, and then click here Whoop. You can choose anything you want, but I don't think there's anything that's similar to what I'm looking for. Anyway, so, and then we'll click here, click paint, and it'll have a backdrop 2, okay? So we have backdrop 1, we have backdrop 2. So our backdrop 1, we actually want to add like our intro screen, okay? So let's actually add some text. So click backdrop 1, add hit the text, click here, and let's say turkey There you go. Turkey feather. Oh shoot, that's not what the color scheme I wanted. Hold on. There you go. Turkey feather catch game. Kind of basic, but there you go right there. Here, I'll draw. There you go. Do. Now it's a little bit more interesting, right? There we go. Turkey feather catch game. Okay, now we want to click on our backdrop here, and let's do our text, and we're going to say game over. Okay, look, have to spell game over, and I'm going to move it to the center, and where's my size here? Let's see. Well, I guess I have to drag it. Okay, change size. There we go. All right, so now we have turkey feather catch game, and now we have game over. Okay, backdrops. All right, now what we want to do is we want to make a button. Okay, we want a button called play. So let's go ahead and let's click here, and let's say paint. Okay, and we're not going to have our turkey on this screen, and we're also not going to have our score already. Okay, so let's click our turkey, and let's hide our turkey right now, and go back to our new sprite. And our new sprite, we're going to make it just says play. Okay, so its name is play. Oh, guess I gotta, where do I click to make it the title of it? All right, so do, whoop. I do, oh, I could actually just add a button. That could actually be pretty easy. No, let's follow the rules of our little handout there. Okay, so we're gonna make one. Okay, so basically I'm gonna draw a box, and I want it to be white on the inside. We'll give it a little bit of flair here, and we'll make the outside kind of, let's see, that's fine. All right, so draw a box. That's okay. Put it in the middle. I don't know if I like that too much. I'm gonna do my undo here. I'm gonna change my fill to something else. Okay, that looks better. Okay, now let me move it to the middle. We're gonna add our text. Click there. We're gonna say play. Okay. And I need my text to be black so that it's easy to see. And I want to make it bigger. So I'm going to drag it here to make it a little bit bigger and put it right in the middle. Okay. All right. So now we have our new button. And I kind of want my button to be right about there, I think. Okay. Now that we have a button, now that we have backgrounds, let's go ahead and let's look at our code here. So on our play button, we're actually going to get our program to start. When we click the green flag, we want to make sure that our button is in a certain place. and it also shows the button because we're going to tell it to hide the button after we click the button that says play. Okay, and then it's going to broadcast to everything else to start the game, but I want it to hide the button. So it's very simple here. So I want it to, let's go to our code. We want it to, when the green flag is clicked, make sure you're on the button here, the play button. Green flag is clicked. I want it to go to, and right now it's at 22. That's fine. We don't have to be super exact on that. That's perfectly fine where I think it is. So go to there, and I want to make sure that it is, I can see it. So if you hide something or if you're going to show something, you need to do the opposite. So I'm going to make sure that it shows. Okay, now we have that. Now we're going to add our broadcast, or excuse me, now we're going to start a if sprite is clicked. So if I go to events and it says when the sprite is clicked, hat, okay, the play button. I want it to do a broadcast, and the message is going to be play. So let's do that. So let's get it to broadcast. Now what's the message we want it to do? Well, it's not there yet. We need to do a new message, and the new message will be called play. Okay? So this is going to send out the message, and then we're going to add these hats here that will receive the message that says play, okay, instead of the green flag. And then I want it to hide the button, okay. And all right, so we can actually, well, we can't try that now because everything else when we click the flag will work, okay. So we're not really ready for that right now. But anytime if I click this, it should then disappear, okay? Because the hide is working. All right, we'll bring it back. Okay, now let's go over to our background. This will be a big one because when we want it to start, now I will tell you this, I think that I've got the things backwards here, but it makes more sense to have this way. So where it says switch backdrop 2, just realize that needs to be backdrop 1. Okay, so I click the green flag and I want it to show the turkey feather catch game just like this background. So let's click our background and we're going to actually add an event when the green flag is clicked. What do we want to do? I want to switch it to the background, switch to background 1 is what I want. All right, now instead of having the green flag, we want to do it when it says when it receives the message play, meaning I've clicked the start button, then start the countdown timer and everything. Okay, so we're going to move this and we're going to get rid of our green flag, and we're going to go to events and put the hat on here. It says when I receive the message play, because remember we just did the button, then start the timer. Okay, now we're going to be doing two things at the same time here. So when we click the green flag, it should show turkey feather catch game. This button should be available. You should be able to see the button. It should be shown. And let's go to our next part here. So when you click this, our timer and everything else will start up at the top. Okay. The other thing is if you wanted to, and I don't think I do this, let's see, with the other one, you could make it so those are shown or not. So you see under variables where it says show variable, hide variable. So if we do that, so when you click the green flag, show turkey feather catch game, hide variable, missed feather, hide variable, score, hide variable, time left. But the problem is you need to do the exact same thing here where instead it needs to make it say show. So show feather, show score, and show the time left. Okay. Now, how would that help you? Well, when we click the green flag, that means that none of this will be up here. It'll look like a real intro screen to the game. Click play, and then the game starts. And then it shows the variables, okay? So if you hide anything, make sure it shows it too. Now, right now, our turkey is hidden, but we're actually going to have to make him hide for this screen, but then show up in the next one, okay? All right, so let's go up here. And let's go ahead and work on our turkey. So our turkey. So let's switch over to our turkey. What we want to do is we actually want it to be that, oh, hang on. Oh, okay. Let's go back to where we were. We need to go back to where we were. Okay, so one of the things we're going to add too is the idea is that when instead of when the timer ends, we're going to have it broadcast the word done to everything, okay? The reason that'll be is because when we do our turkey and our turkey receives the word done, that means he's going to hide. And that's so that we can see our game over screen, okay? Then it's going to switch the backdrop. Remember, it's going to be backdrop 2, not 1, because the game over is on 2. And then again, we also want it to have the stop all. Okay, so we go down here, we're going to move the stop all. We actually want it to do the broadcast, which is under events. So broadcast something new. What is it we want to broadcast? We want to broadcast the word done. Okay, so we need to add a new message. We're just going to say done. You could do game over if you wanted to. Anything you want to do is fine. All right, so it's going to broadcast the word done. You see it adds it to my list, okay? And we also want it to switch the background. So switch background or backdrop to backdrop 2, okay? And then stop everything. Backdrop 2, of course, is our game over, okay? All right, now let's go up to our turkey. And we're only going to do a few things here because all we have to do is have to make sure that the turkey and the feathers hide when they receive the word done. Okay, so they won't be on top of the game over screen. So we'll do both of those. Let's go and do both of those. So we need to go to our turkey. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add a when I receive the word done, hide. Okay, hide. All right. It also means you need to add a show over here. Okay. All right, and our feather, we need to add a when I hear the word done, hide. Now this already does have a show, so that should take care of that for the other stuff. Okay, so let's go back to our turkey. So our turkey right now has the green flag at the top, so we want to get rid of that. We want to do an event and say when it receives the message, play. Okay. And it will need a show. Okay. So we're going to, I should have a show in there. Yeah, there it is right there. So it adds a show. Show. Awesome. All right, so we have show and hide. And when he receives the word done, he's going to hide. And when I click the green flag, I want to make sure that the turkey is hidden as well because we don't want him on the main menu screen. Okay. So when the green flag is clicked, I guess this is, let's see. This is just to make sure, I guess. You don't have to have this, but this is just to make sure that the turkey is hidden on the main screen. If you play this more than once, then it would work. But if I did accidentally have the turkey there, unhidden, this is probably a good thing to add anyway. Okay, so now let's go to our next section here. And all we're going to do is we're going to do two things. We already added the hide, didn't we? Okay. Now let's add the when I received the play message. Okay. When I hear the word play, then I want it to begin. Okay. Instead of the flag. All right, so let's go to our feather. All right, so instead of the green flag being clicked, we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to add the event when I receive the word play. Okay. I'm not sure why it says hide on there. I don't think I need that. Okay, that may just be, like I said, with the turkey, to just make sure that the feather is hidden, so there's not any kind of issue where something happened and it's showing just the feather sitting on the screen, like this or something, like that. See, so if the feather was just on and sitting on the screen, that kind of fixes that issue. Oh, not show, it's supposed to be hide. I did the wrong one now, didn't I? All right. And then our show starts over here. Okay. So because we've done this with some more baby steps, baby bites, hopefully this will make a little bit more sense. Okay. So we've got everything going on here right now. But if we did our code right, when we click the green flag, all of this will disappear. The turkey will disappear. The feather will disappear, and we should be here on this screen, and we should be able to click the play button. All right, ready? So there we go. Oh, the feather did not disappear. Okay, so let me see. Do I need to add? I don't think that'll be an issue. I think that's because I'm the one that turned that on. Okay, so just ignore that. All right, so if I hit the green flag, then it's waiting for me. I click the play button, and then it should switch the background. Our game should begin, and our score should reappear, and our turkey and our feathers. Oh no, what did we not do? Oh, we didn't tell it to switch the background now, did we? Okay, so let's go back and do that. Let's see, where did I tell it to switch? Click the two. Aha! I needed to add switch background to the hayfield after it receives the play message. Okay, so let's go to our backdrop. And when it receives the play message, we want it to switch backdrop to the hayfield. And then boom, we should be good to go. All right, here we go. Perfect. Oh, here we go. There you go. All right. Now we got a game going on. So this should be our final game code here. And when we reach the countdown, let me miss a few here so you can see that's working. Okay, good. That's working. I would say again, making any game that is random with a timer it really is kind of what is your best, the stuff coming out. But there's so many games that are like that anyway, but we still accept, like, well, they just, what mini feathers coming out that time. Even if the computer's the one that chose the randomness of it. But can you have a bad game? Because there we go. Perfect. Perfect. So our timer went out to 0. And now we get a nice game over. And it has a score on the top. Now, like I said, you could actually play around with this. You could actually create 2 buttons. You could actually create 2 buttons if you wanted to. Make multiple sections here. Make you copy paste some stuff. And then basically what happens is, instead of it being we'll say an easy mode or a hard mode, then you could actually make a new button and it would actually say, like, more difficult. And instead of going to this main section here, you could make one, instead of it saying play, maybe like hard mode or something. And then you could actually have 2 layers to your game by just like copying the feather, renaming this, coming up with a new thing, add a new button and say hard mode, click that, and then there you go right there. So can I just duplicate that? I sure can. So let's see, I got a few minutes here. I might just go ahead and try that out. Why not? Okay, so I'll go ahead and see if we can add. Whoop, you got to go away because you're in the way. All right, so if, this will be my more advanced challenge here, because another one is creating a high score game over screen. So depending on what the score is, you can actually make it go to different backgrounds and say, oh, you've gotten, if you ever played Angry Birds where you get like 2 stars or 3 stars or something, well, there you go right there. You could actually create that as well. But let me kind of show you this idea that I have here, making it a hard mode. So we're going to make, we're going to call this, can I name that? Oh, duh, it's right there. All right, so we're going to call it hard mode. And we're going to add some text that just says hard mode. Okay. And I need to give it a box. And we'll give it a red box. I think that would be good. Send that to the back. There you go. And we'll put it way down here on the bottom. It said hard mode. Okay. So if I duplicate this, and I'm going to change this to feathers. Let's see, hard mode. All right, so let's go to that. That's code. Now, instead of it being play, because I actually want this to, instead of it being like that, I actually want it to broadcast. We'll call it hard mode. That'll work for us. Okay, so the button needs to be, when I click the green flag, I want it to go, show, where is it? Yeah. Want it to go to a certain place where it is right now, go to there, and then I want it to show. All right. And I want, when the sprite is clicked, you can see where I'm going here. Sprite is clicked. I want it to broadcast And we're going to add new message, hard mode. Oop. All right, and then of course we want it to hide. And okay, so we need to go to here, and we're going to change it to when I receive hard mode. Then it's going to start the code and everything. Okay. Now the cool part about it is everything else will be the same. The background, it's still going to just say game over at the end and everything. But the thing is, I'm going to go here, and remember our randomness that was here. I'm going to actually change it to similar to what we did before, which was -30. Okay, so our feathers are going to fall like crazy. Okay, and let's see. I want it to be hard mode, so the score you actually want to be less. So if I actually gave them more feathers, that would actually be, you have to kind of vary that, because your idea is that it's hard mode, so the score shouldn't be as high as in regular mode, I believe. So maybe even if I made this to 0.5 to 1, then that would mean they're faster, but there's less of them. I don't know. I'll leave it the way it is. I changed my mind. Wait, what was it before? I don't remember right this second. What was it before? 3. It was 3. Okay, good. Okay, now that we have this crazy hard mode, let's go ahead and try it out. So done will still work for our countdown clock. The only thing that's going to happen is, instead of it going to this feather code that's play, it's going to go to this one over here that says hard mode. Okay, now, I'm sure there's somebody that could rig it up, but if you just make a copy of that, I'm okay with that. All right, so here we go. Let's hit the green flag. Oh no, the hard mode is still there. Okay, so I need to make sure that hides. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so I hit the green flag. We have our play mode. We also have our hard mode. So let's do our hard mode. Oh no! Okay, hold on here. Hold on. So the background didn't change. Oh, because that only works when they receive play. Okay, so, oh man. So now I got to figure that one out. Huh. So the background, you could make it a different background if you wanted to. Of course, hard mode could just be, you know, instead of 60 seconds, you give them 30. Okay. So what we have now is I click hard mode, and that stuff disappears because I've only set that up for play, and the turkey's not visible either. Okay, I might have to leave that be. So basically, you really do have to redo kind of everything, even if it's like the turkey or something, to create a hard mode, unless, let's see, so our code, I did the hard mode thing because it was like, well, that could be an easy way to do that because of feathers, but everything else would load. So if you actually set it back to play, if the broadcast, let me see here. Broadcast hard mode. Oh, I could do that as an if, maybe. But then you would need it to do both. So when I hit the button, I want to broadcast hard mode. Let's see, but then can I have it hide that? The first feathers. Okay, so if you click hard mode, it's going to broadcast the play. So everything will be the same. The only thing is I need the feathers, the first feathers, to be hidden. So, let's see. Choose play. Okay, so if I do a receive hard mode, could I tell it to stop the script? Huh. Okay, I'm going to try that. Where's my stop the script? Let's see. Create clone, stop this script. Because all I need is this feather to not start, and I want this feather to start instead. Okay, let's try that. All right, green flag. This may not work. Green flag, I hit hard mode. I may have broken the game. We'll see. Hard mode. Okay. Okay, because I hit the play button, I gotta hide the play button. So if I go to this one, no, hang on. You gotta go to the broadcast. So if it's been broadcast hard mode, I need to hide this button. See, it starts so simple, and then we get so complicated later, right? Okay, now I'm feeling confident. Here we go. And I hit hard mode. The play button should disappear now. Woo! Oh, God. Here we go. I think I got it. I think I got it. Ah! Okay, is this both scripts running at the same time? I think it might be. But anyway, it's still fun. Oh, maybe this is the hard mode. Now, you could set it up that once you reach a certain feathers or something, even if the game is over. I mean, I could see you doing that. Basically having it set up so that you missed, so using the broadcast, if you actually had it set up here and said, let's see, if you do my variable, if I say, that would be an if. So, I'll try to do this kind of interesting way. So if I do, when the flag is clicked, if, okay, when the flag is clicked, if okay, so if I have the flag is clicked, would I do greater than? Yeah, okay. So greater than, maybe we'll do it 30. Okay. If feathers missed is greater than 30, Okay, the flag is clicked, and if feathers missed is greater than 30, then broadcast done, I guess. I could make it stop all script, but I want it to go to the end. So where is it? Broadcast the word done. Okay. All right. I think I got it going crazy right now, but here we go. Let's try it. So if you get 30 missed feathers, the game's over no matter what the time is. So let's just let it do it. Hard mode. Okay. Maybe that's too many feathers. Maybe that's not enough feathers to miss. Not sure. That might be too many feathers to miss. 20 might be a good number on there. Let's see. Okay, so trying to dodge the feathers now. Oh, it didn't work. Okay. I'll have to figure that one out. Because that did not work. All right. Miss Feathers is greater than 30. Oh, I need to have it in a forever loop. Was that what everybody in the audience is telling me? Probably. Forever loop. Then do it. And I think we'll push it down to 20. All right, here we go. This is our last thing. Here we go. All right, so I'm actually going to be trying to dodge the feathers. All right, at 12, 13, 15, 20, and well, that didn't really work either. I'm not really sure, but I'll have to look into that. But anyway, just kind of an idea. But I like that that kind of worked. But yeah, the done broadcast should have worked. Let's see. So feathers missed is greater than 20, then broadcast done. And see the broadcast done. Oh, I do need to tell it to stop all, I guess. So if I do a stop all, let's see, if that, then it broadcasts done. Okay. Stop all. I don't know. I have to think about that one. All right, so we've come to the end of our turkey feather catch game. Got into there adding a little bit more than we have in the past, so that's kind of interesting. I figured we do that since this is the last time we'll be doing it, maybe until next year. But our extreme turkey feather catch game is definitely working. In hard mode. And in regular mode as well. So I figured that was okay to do that. So anyway, thanks for joining me this afternoon. I'll actually be doing a turkey at 2:30. So come join me for that. Alright, I got 16, 15 seconds. How many more I can get? Oh no. And game over. There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed this, or at least enjoyed watching it if you weren't following along. But I think this is pretty fun. Today and this afternoon, we'll put a finishing close to our Thanksgiving Day projects. So come join me this afternoon. We'll actually be doing our feather catch, or excuse me, we'll actually be doing our draw a turkey game. Now the handout also has a whole bunch of listings here about where you can get some tutorials as well, some other resources that you can take with you. It talks more about the coordinates a little bit, some of the top 5 games that people are playing on the Scratch thing. It's because it's such a creative community. Anything that's popular coming out, immediately there's like a Scratch version of it, which is kind of fun. And want to go further than this, there's also Kane Academy and of course Code Academy as well. So I encourage you to just keep going, learn a bit more, play around with it. We'll do some more classes that are Scratch to Python ready classes. So I look forward to seeing you there. And of course, in December, we're actually going to have some new classes come out, and they're actually going to be including ones that are basically using Blender for 3D animations and some things like that. So thank you for joining me today. On a little bit of a side note, our library is still open. They're still open with limited services and hours. Curbside holds pickup is available. You can go to gchrl.org for details or call in the library with questions Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find our YouTube channel by searching YouTube for GCHRL videos, and it'll pull right up. So thank you for joining me this morning. I look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Of course, I'll see you in December. Classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for being here. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.